All right, so on this day, we are going to complete equations using associative properties. So the same as yesterday. We're not doing number crunching. We are just, no number crunching. We're not number crunching unless we're doing it to check at the end, right? So this is really important. We're using the seesaw, right, to make sure these are balanced. So the associative property states that the answer is the same no matter how the numbers are grouped. The answer is the same. In other words, two equations can be equal to each other no matter how the numbers are grouped. So we can group them with parentheses like this, do this part first, or parentheses like this, do this part first. Now teachers, we don't make a big deal out of parentheses. We don't teach order of operations that way. We just say we're using parentheses to say do this part first. The associative property is telling us that this would be equal, right? And so we go through here an example to explore if this is true. Here's 4 times 3 twice, right? And then here is 3 times 2, that's here, 4 times. You might be able to see that this is just this turned sideways. Like if I move these around, you see they meet up? These are really just the same. If this is one example, teachers, let me clear that slide. I encourage you to, if you can, connect this to the turkey dinner because hopefully it came up. Like we did 24 quarters, but some people maybe did 6 groups of 4 quarters. Like they thought of it as 4 times the quarter first, then times 6, whereas this is 6 times 4 first, then times the quarter. So we've actually been playing around with the associative property when we talk about groups of groups, right? Because here I have 4 groups of a quarter, and then I have 6 of those. If that's super confusing for you and you're like, we did not get there, fine, so be it. But like, that's why we do, right, the context for learning is because often it brings up ideas in really neat ways that resonate with students. I think the picture is good too, right? Like, the picture shows that instead of grouping them here, 4 groups of 3, 2 times, right? It's really 3 groups of 2, and it's easier to see that way. There's your 3 groups of 2, but it's 4 times, right? 3 groups of 2, 4 times. Either way, we end up with all the same number of groups, right? Let's play around with this and think about what operations we think are associative when we are. And let the kids, again, brainstorm. Hopefully they tell you addition is associative, right? We did addition before. 2 plus 1 plus 3 equals 2 plus 1 plus 3. And if you need to, you can evaluate it to check. Subtraction is not associative. Multiplication is, we just said. Division is not. And it makes sense that these would not be associative because they're not commutative. So like if we're saying that you can't do 3 minus 1 and 1 minus 3, it makes sense that you can't just switch parentheses either, right? So it makes sense, but let's just evaluate it. So we're going to rewrite this expression using the associative property and then evaluate it to see if it's the same. So you're essentially going to do this equals this, and then do the math and see if it's equal. In other words, do 3 times 2, that's 6, 1 times 6, Okay, so they're equal. This looks right. Let's try division. So you do the same thing. They don't end up equal. And then you're just practicing filling in blanks.